Small Ohio home, officials rescuing 16 children they say were living in deplorable conditions.
On the morning of June 30th, 2026, deputies in Vinton County, Ohio pulled up to a modest rental home on Omer Road in the small community of Hamden, population under 1,000. They weren't there expecting to make national headlines. They were serving a search warrant tied to a separate, unrelated case. Allegations of indecent exposure against a man named Gary Siders Jr. What they found inside changed the scope of the investigation entirely. 16 children, ranging in age from roughly 18 months to 18 years old, were living inside that house. Officials would later say some of them appeared malnourished, that the home was filthy beyond belief, and that the children had reportedly been confined to a single small room. Ohio's Attorney General, Andy Wilson, would later tell reporters the children looked like almost feral animals. The county sheriff, Ryan Kane, put it even more bluntly. Most of our livestock was kept in better conditions than the children. This is the story of the Siders family case, what investigators say they found. How a family reportedly stayed hidden from authorities for nearly 2 decades. 4 adults were arrested that day and now face charges. Gary Siders Jr., his wife Elizabeth Siders, and Gary Jr.'s parents, Gary Siders Sr. and Christina Siders. All 4 were arraigned the following day, each entering a plea of not guilty, and each held on $300,000 bond. Court records showed the 2 were married in Mason County, West Virginia, in March 2008. At the time Elizabeth was 15 years old, Gary Jr. was 18. West Virginia law at the time allowed minors to marry at any age with parental consent, and her parents reportedly consented. Their eldest child, now 18, and among the 16 rescued, was born just 2 months after the wedding. From there, records suggest the family moved frequently through multiple Ohio counties, and for a period out of state entirely. One of the most unsettling threads to emerge from this case isn't just what allegedly happened inside that home, it's how long it apparently went unnoticed. Investigators say the family moved often enough and kept a low enough profile that they largely avoided generating medical records or interacting with government systems that might have flagged trouble. Attorney General Wilson said investigators believe the family lived in several Ohio counties, dating back to 2008, and at one point lived in Wisconsin before returning to Ohio. There was at least one close call. Court records obtained by reporters show that back in 2021, a truancy complaint was filed after 6 of the older children reportedly missed an entire school year, the 2021 to 2022 school year. Juvenile court officials tried to serve the family with that complaint. They couldn't locate them. The case was closed without further action, and the family effectively disappeared from the system's radar for another 5 years. By the time investigators reached the Hamden property, school officials in Vinton County said they had no enrollment or homeschooling records for any of the Siders children at all. Property records reviewed by journalists also show the family had lived in and left behind at least one other home before Hamden, a residence one local official described as covered in human and animal waste by the time they found it. That detail alone speaks to how long this pattern is believed to have gone on. 16 children were removed from the property. Officials say several needed immediate medical attention. 7 were taken to hospitals in Columbus, 2 of them by helicopter, with at least 1 child in critical condition. Others were admitted for evaluation and care. All 4 defendants, Gary Siders Sr., Christina Siders, Gary Siders Jr., and Elizabeth Siders, were each charged with 16 counts of felony child endangerment, 1 for each child found in the home. That's a combined 64 to 68 felony counts across the family, depending on how the charges were ultimately filed, with prosecutors indicating more charges could still come as the investigation continues. All 4 remain formally presumed innocent, and the case is still making its way toward trial. 16 children are safe but far from whole.